Very, very warm good afternoon. I hope all of you had a good lunch or wherever you're coming from. I hope you had a good day so far. A big thank you to all of you for making time. This is in continuation with what we did today at RAI, which is we launched our report. It is called as the Retail Reinvention of Retail, the way we look at it. And we thought that we will follow it up with a roundtable with brands and owners like yourselves to really bring out and enrich the outputs of the report to the next level. So this is in continuation of the content of the report. So maybe some of you have the copies. We will give you the copies of the physical copies of the report as well. I will just take maybe 2 minutes to introduce myself, and maybe we'll just go around the room so that we can just know each other better. We have got roughly 50 odd minutes amongst ourselves. A bunch of my colleagues as well in the room, so I'll request them to also please chime in. My name is Ravi Kapoor. I lead the retail and consumer practice for PwC based out of Mumbai. And I've been in this space for almost 2.5 decades now. And we do this kind of work, working with retailers, working with brands, and trying to understand what's the zeitgeist, what's happening as we speak right now, and what does it mean for various stakeholders, so that we can add hopefully some value to our customers, which are people like yourselves. So this report that you see, the Retail Reinvention Paradigm, essentially got triggered by the thought of the great flux that we see in the retail landscape. Q-commerce has come from nowhere. Nobody gave it any sort of a chance of succeeding, but it has succeeded like how. And that has really upended multiple models, the way brands are looking at what does it mean for them. Digital commerce is continuing to gain traction as the government keeps on investing in both physical and digital infra. So it is really upending the traditional models of retail as we would know it. Essentially, EBOs, MBOs, a large part of it will be unorganized, but that paradigm is definitely shifting. What we did in this report was we spoke to a bunch of retailers, we spoke to a bunch of consumers, we spoke to brands as well. Some of you are there in the room as well. And we try to piece it together. What does it mean? And I will not tease the report, but essentially just to give you the quick background. We have got a bunch of questions. We thought we will just keep it very open-ended in the way we wanted to run the day, next 50 minutes. But before we do that, maybe I'll start with the gentleman on the right-hand side. If you could kindly please introduce yourself, where have you come from, and what business you lead. Just feel free the way you want to.
So I'm Devesh from Max team as of now. I head national expansion of Max format as of now. Prior to that, multiple industry exposure coming from Hindustan Lever background for 4 years, then with telecom, then to retail. But retail is some 16, 17 years now, which is there. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Devesh, work for Max. Heading all India expansion as of now for Max. And prior to that, it was multiple industries being two. Retail is the largest one, close to 18 years in retail. Prior to that, it was Hindustan Levers and Reliance Telecommunications at that point of time. But yeah, quite interesting is retail, where the domain of fashion retail, where I be right now.
Super. Thanks, Devesh. To start yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kunj. I'm with PwC. I lead what we call clients and industries. It's really about how we organize and bring the firm to all of you in helping you out in your journeys, right? And by background, I'm a tax expert, if there can be an expertise in tax.
Hi. So I am Mohit from Truly Desi, a small startup working in dairy industry, specifically working in D2C space, procuring good, fresh A2 milk from farmers, processing it and directly delivering it to our customers. Uh, I've been associated with a couple of consultancy firms in the earlier days, so about 7 years back, and then I came back to India, and since then I'm running Truly Desi.
And where is it based?
Pune,
Pune.
right. So we deliver in both the cities. We are catering Pune and Mumbai both right now.
Okay.
Planning to expand to Bangalore and Hyderabad by next year.
Okay. Cool. Thanks. Thanks, Mohit.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Suraj, Director Kirti Lal's. We are 85-year-old brand in diamond jewelry manufacturing and retail out of South India. We have a presence of about 20 outlets today. We are also one of the founding members of RAI.
Wow. Welcome, Suraj. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Arun this side. I work with PwC as a director in the customer transformation team. So I work very closely in the retail and consumer sector with brands like yours, mostly working on the front end of the value chain. I come with a lot of experience in the route to market side on business transformation, and that's what I help and try my clients also with. Thank you.
Thanks, Arun. Hello everyone. My name is Raghav. I am the research lead for PwC in India. I am the partner and I look after research and insights. So I do a lot of research on what you guys do in the markets.
Hi everyone, my name is Vijal Shah. I'm a partner with I come from a risk consulting practice. I predominantly work for retail and e-commerce clients like yours, and I specialize in providing corporate governance related solution for our clients, right? To meet your requirement with respect to enterprise risk management, IPO journey, internal audit, forensic, cyber security, IT governance. So we make sure that the back end of the organization is strengthened, and we actually help organization in reinventing the risk. And how do you get more opportunities from the risk and help you monetize those? Thank you.
Thanks, Pichu.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Sudip. I'm a director with PwC. I work with clients like yourself to deliver best-in-class customer experience, whether it's online or offline. And I work on a lot of digital transformation programs as well. So glad to be here and looking forward to the conversation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kushal. Glad to be here. I'm part of strategy and practice of PwC, with a strategy consulting firm. I specialize in retail and e-commerce as the sector, and largely sort of focusing in the last 4 years, helping offline retailers across fashion apparel, BPC, home decor, etc., to really move into online space, omni-commerce space, and answer a lot of these questions from a capability lens, sourcing, product assortment lens, rather than just a marketing lens. So that's what I do.
Thanks, Kushal.
Hi, my name is Nitin Shah, and I am the founder of Total Sports and Fitness, India's first organized retail chain. We are spread across 3 states. We operate 17 stores. We have a B2B division where we cater to builders and developers, schools and colleges, 5-star hotels, NGOs, clubs and gymkhanas. And we are also into e-commerce on marketplace as well as on our own portal.
Super.
So that's it. We just got our first franchise in Tamil Nadu, Dharmapuri, which is a tier 4 city, and the response has been very, very encouraging. The last store we opened was in Pune next to Decathlon. So the response has been extremely good. And this is India's answer to these foreign giants who come and do business here. Right? We have more than 100 brands. We have all categories like sporting goods, sportswear, fitness equipment, food supplements. We do gym setup, indoor, outdoor sporting facilities. You name it and we have it. It's a one-stop destination for all your sports, fitness, and recreational needs. Thank you.
Super. Thanks, Nitin. Yes, ma'am. You have to press the button.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Vani from Digicao. We are an innova and reusable period care brand for young women and teens. We are the challenger sort of brand in this incumbent heavy space. We sell online, mostly digitally first. So we sell through our own D2C website. We sell on e-com, and we've recently launched on quick commerce and seeing great traction. Yeah, so that's it.
Thanks, Vani.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Vaibhav Mittal. I am from Punjab. I represent a very large family business group out of Jalandhar. It's called Lovely Group. We are a $200 million group and really well known in India for Lovely Professional University, where we serve 40,000 students, and we got close to 2.5 lakh square feet of retail space, which is managed by me. And in my personal capacity, I've just started a new brand, which is lying next to you. It's called Karmic Beauty, which is, as you know, Vani put it, it's the challenger brand. We are India's most natural and most efficacious brand. These two buzzwords, no brand can touch us. And we aim to be the leader of the beauty space from India. And our ambitions are global, so we want to make it as a global brand. Thank you.
Thanks, Vaibhav. Hi.
Hi guys, my name is Rishi. I belong from the north, the city called Ambala, and we run a retail jewelry group by the name of Fateh Chand Jewelers. It's a 120-year-old company. I'm the 5th generation in the same company. Other than that, in my personal capacity, I run a few brands. One of them is Niche Perfumes. It's a premium niche NICHE brand out of the country. Selling at the designer prices. We are the only ones in the country where we were able to get hold of the master perfumers from around the world, like top 10 master perfumers. Out of that, 4 of them are working with us. And creating something which can go expand out of India to the global markets and make a name for our country. That's the passion that we're working on. Other than that, we also are into restaurants. We have restaurants in the spiritual destinations, around 4 of them in Ayodhya, Vrindavan, and a few other places. We serve Sattvic food. Everything is free from maida, no onion, garlic, and in a specialized kind of a category we are expanding. And it's a pleasure being here. Look forward to connect with everyone. Thank you.
Super.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. My name is Krishna. I handle sales for Godrej Consumer Products. The brands are Godrej #1 soap, Synthol, Goodnight, Hit. The cooler brands are Kama Sutra condoms and Park Avenue deodorants. I have experience in other FMCG companies like Marico, Reckitt, Heinz. Yeah, and Bombay boy through and through.
Welcome, Krishna.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chandan Savera. I am the founder and CEO for brand Urban Tribe. It's into travel and travel accessories category, and my corporate experience has been with Future Group, Shoppers Stop, and Portico, and look forward to interacting with all of you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Nilesh Gupta from Vijay Sales. We are Mumbai-based, but now in North India also, South also, and West, dealing in consumer durable and electronics. It's a 57-year-old company, and looking forward for a great interactive session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nilesh. So I'll straight away cut to chase. I think we have got around 30-40 minutes. What we have done is that we have put together a set of 4-5 questions. They are fairly open-ended questions. The idea is to spur a discussion around those, and they may be a bit provocative. They may question some of your established ways of working, your business models. I heard some of you are really doubling down on e-commerce in a big way. So my first question goes as follows, and we have been talking about omnichannel left, right, and center, and we have been doing this for very many years now. But truly, have we really mastered what omni means, or what it takes to really build a sustainable omnichannel business model? We believe here in PwC that we are still some distance away from really saying that brands have cracked it, businesses have cracked it. So the question from our side is, why is it so difficult in India to be truly omni? And What I mean by truly omni, obviously, is I'll not try to get into the exact definition of omni, but essentially it boils down to how I want to empower my consumer, how I want to empower my inventory, how I want to empower my channel strategy, my organization model, so that I really look at it seamlessly. How am I incentivizing my field force to really not get swayed from where the sales is happening? So some of those basic building blocks. So just to repeat, in short, the question is, first of all, do you believe that cracking the Omni code is a difficult one, depending on the diverse businesses that you do? And why is it? And do you think that there are some great role models for us in India that can really look at it? I'm not talking about Zara's, Uniqlo's and H&M's of the world, which are having whatever else, years of experience and whatever around it. But so a show of hands who really believe that truly Omni is still not happened in India. Do you guys believe it? Yeah. Okay, great. So feel free. It's anybody's day today. So please just feel free to launch in and let us know why you think so and why you don't think so as well. So maybe I'll start with whoever. Yeah, please, Chandan. Yeah, lady, please, Vani, go ahead.
So I think when you talk about true omni, as you said, if you leave out the big brands who've been there forever and you look at the rebels or the challenger brands, it hasn't happened. It's very, very difficult in India. Execution is the primary challenge. It's the getting, as you said, controlling the field force, getting them to deliver. It takes years to get that right. So that in the true sense, there are of course tools available. There are multiple, like field assists and multiple tools that help you sort of, manage your force. But still to deliver it sustainably and deliver it for a challenger or new brands who've not had those many years of experience, that hasn't happened in India. And I think it's across channels, whether it is FMCG or it is hosiery, apparel. It is in every channel. The challenges are pretty much still there, which is where I think it'll come back to that later, which is where quick commerce really seems to have kind of, picked up. And with the hyperlocal model, they have managed to crack the market so fast.
Okay.
From both channels, not just from the consumer point of view, but also from the seller point of view.
Yeah. But quick commerce is pure play online model, right?
It's hyperlocal. You cannot call it pure play online model. It's not an e-commerce. It's a very hyperlocal model. That's actually the challenger to the brick and mortar store. E-commerce was never that big a challenge.
So going in holy cow was that if I have been born as offline, learning the tricks of online becomes that much more challenging. But coming from you, I'm assuming that you're straddling both of them simultaneously, or you're
born online.
You're born online, or you're born offline, or you're somewhere in between?
No, we are millennials. Born online.
Born online.
Yeah. Trying to take birth offline hasn't happened yet. Have not been conceived.
Super. Yes, please. Yes.
So I belong to the old school, right? Born in a brick and mortar setup, family business. Now, of course, we are a funded company. We have reached a scale where we can afford to get professionals who we can pay, right? Salaries in the e-commerce space is a huge cost for people like us who are very frugal, considering the real estate rentals in cities like Mumbai. It's always a wish, to be an omni-channel brand, right? But getting there, it's a journey and it requires a lot of money also, right? That is one challenge which we are facing. Fortunately, being in the space of sports and fitness, people want to come to the store, try out the equipment. Even though we have launched home delivery service, maybe in a couple of hours, but we have not been getting the kind of response we were expecting. People still want to come to the store. So it's a challenge, for smaller companies to become omni, precisely for the fact that it's a huge cost.
But you believe in it, right?
And what I believe is that being from a brick and mortar DNA, right? Our DNA is brick and mortar. So personally, if you ask me, I'm not a e-commerce person. I rarely buy online. And I'm more about supporting the ecosystem where everybody grows. Whereas in today's times of capitalism, consumerism, it's all about killing others and growing. So our value system also is, predominantly all about brick and mortar, connecting with people, creating communities, going out on the grounds and play. It's not about, online or e-commerce. But saying that even in spite of all these things, the future is going to be e-commerce, and we have to be there.
Yeah.
Sir, I have
Great
a point
points.
to this. I think we all have witnessed Mahakumbh. And this was not an online thing, you had to be there. Online was, creating a lot of pull for it. But we had to be there physically. So I think it's a similar experience which I feel. While we are online first, but I think my heart lies in the offline because that's where most of the consumers are still. I don't expect my mom to shop online or my dad to shop online, whatever it is. I'm still in a tier 2 city. The reality of the country is in the smaller cities, not the metro cities, where the behavior is quite different. So at this time, I think there is this whole marketing style of push and pull. So I cannot push a new brand in the offline space. Conveniently, it's going to take more time and more money to do so. But it's easy to do so in the online space where there's an intent for buying the product. So I come from that mindset, where I've delved into the offline space several years and, burnt a lot of money also while being there. And especially, when we are competing with the same brands, like Godrej is here, and several other, the HUL or the PNGs, where the consumer is picking on the brand first and not knowing about your product. So I think the push factor remains, extremely, relevant here. Second is that the consumer behavior is extremely different in the online versus offline space. When I'm online, I can really show beautiful photographs, beautiful models, and I can really push the product when there's an intent happening. In the offline space, I might not have all the extra accessories to talk about my product there. So that means the result of the product and what is in it for me at that 30 seconds to 1 minute that the sale pitch the consumer can hear has to make. So it's a very different consumer mindset and different way of playing in the offline space. And they both can coexist. So I am in for Omni, that they can exist. Another is that in the case of offline, many consumers love, the look and feel. I'm a beauty brand, right? So I have to feel it. I have converted more consumers by, having them smell the product fragrance, and they bought it on that basis. Nobody was looking at the functionality. Online, it is all about the functionality. So I think it's about different ways of, communicating the same product to a different set of consumers based on their consumer behavior. That's what I am.
So Vaibhav, you are saying in a way that there is a life cycle. Maybe in the early part of the life cycle where consumers don't know your brand so much, you need something more to really get the choice going in your favor. Established brand like what Krishna represents here, Godrej, everybody knows what Good Night is all about. I'm just looking for convenience of getting Good Night when I want it. As simple as that. But if I am an upcoming brand online, the lady sitting next to you, Vani, difficult one, right? For her to be an online
No, absolutely not.
start.
I think it's just the other way around.
Oh,
If
is
I'm
it?
online, it's intent based, right? If a customer is looking for a particular category of the product and I'm right there, and I've had that experience. We are Dichika, we compete with Enamor. My maximum sales on Zepto has happened for Enamor bras. They looked for them, they bought us because
they were not available.
they were there. Our pictures were better, we looked better, our pricing was better. If you went to the same place offline, my sale will be dependent on the salesperson there. If a person says, show me an Enamor bra, and he says, I have Dichika, doesn't push it along, the customer may not buy it. Here I have more control.
Got it. Nilesh, Krish, any other points from as you hear?
So the basic reason why Omni has not been successful in India so far is the pricing costing. The way the Omni works is then your cost goes out of, you'll never be profitable. So all the other quick commerce or the online space who are doing very well, the big ones, they're basically losing money. And for Omni to work, it has to be retail, online plus offline. You don't have a great online guys who have a great offline presence. Offline guys don't have money to support the play of Omni. That's where the challenge is.
Okay.
Yeah, just want to make so. Sorry, am I audible?
Yep.
So in case of Max, what I say, it's working in perfect gel-in position as of now. So if we term it as a endless aisle. So biggest opportunity loss for a offline retailer is availability of sizes many a times. So one big problem that is being sought out by endless aisle is we do have a kiosk where you do have that kind of a sizes available because we do have a single view inventory. That too, firstly it will divert to the nearest possible store. Then if it is not there, of course, it takes the other one and ultimately it goes to warehouse if it's not available anywhere. So the sales loss what you do have because of the sizes, quantum close to 10 to 15%, cover up almost half of it by Omni and less. Of course, there is a mindset of offline where you want to have that particular piece on the spot. Intent goes vary. And of course, all 15% is not coming to my basket.
Yeah.
But yes, if I can recover 3%, 4% also, that's a big chunk for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's one where it works. Another biggest advantage, plus sizes. If you want to keep plus size at your store, it's very seasonal. It's very, very niche what you are catering to. But you need to maintain entire range across the stores, everything. Online only has given me this potential. If you want to go for double XL, triple XL or 4XL also, I need not to keep those sizes there because they are the rare customers. They wait for a fashion.
Yeah.
And Max Curve is surviving because of that only. The Max Curve is selling only online, very few presence on offline, few sample pilot stores, and it's working very well there. So that's one. Third thing where I do work, that's again what somebody else has also mentioned. We say this O2O business.
Yeah.
So online to offline and offline to online, both way it works.
Yeah.
So whosoever has experienced Max merchandise, knows size,
Yeah.
recognizes, of course they are visiting online also.
Yeah.
And there are many online customers, after ordering online, they are coming back to us. So that is also a very plus point which is there. And again, there are many such rumors because if you take a sample of first 20 cities of India, almost every tier 2, tier 3 who can afford any quality merchandise or even for the value fashion brand had visited those cities, and we do have presence there. Once he has experience, even if he is not willing to come to that metro, sitting there also can order. So it is helping online business as well once customer has experienced your merchandise.
Yeah.
So it's a very seamless one which is working out. Cost efficiencies, of course, is a concern, which is largely getting catered because of availability of stores almost in 150 plus cities and being 521 outlets available.
Yep.
So you can divert your deliveries from there if it's available there. So need not to send Guwahati from Bangalore.
Yeah.
It's a Guwahati store catering to a Guwahati customer.
Yeah.
So this is a big plus what we do have. Though if I talk about overall contribution to business, is not as significant as of now, but yes, does have a potential to grow even more further.
Got it. So any other viewpoint from anyone? Yeah, please, Rishi.
You know, I totally agree with what Mr. Nilesh is saying, and Mr. Devesh has also mentioned one point. I personally believe Omni is the only approach for a brand to become successful, right? You can run a 100-meter race, but if you want to win a marathon, that's the way. But you need to have a capacity to run a marathon. You can't just be trained in a 100-meter and start running a marathon. For a brand like us, we have 170,000 visitors per month on our website with a good conversion ratio. People know us. Being in a perfume category, it is very difficult for people to buy online, but we've still been able to do it. We sell close to 160, 70 orders per day at that kind of a AOV. But when it goes to retail, we have 100 plus POS as well, where we are doing shop in shops. With the right strategy, with the gift with purchase or incentives in place, I think it works really well. You need to have the right strategy. But the problems with D2C brands is to be able to be there because there are people who are not going to take you seriously. Being an online brand, it's like, hey, come on, you know, if you have connects, if you have the network, you'll be like, hey, Mr. Devesh, I want to be there.
Yeah.
Even though my category is not, we can't be fit together. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
You could just be like, hey, I want to be there. Okay, I'll open up stores for you.
Yeah.
5 stores, 10 stores. But if you don't know people out there, how are you going to do it?
Yeah.
So that's the biggest challenge. But if it's omnipresent, I think that's the right way for a brand to scale.
Yeah. Okay. So if I really try to put everything together, at least what I'm sensing is that it's a question of where are we on the maturity cycle as a business. Conceptually, I feel that there is no confusion because everybody understands the basic tenets of what it takes to go after a consumer, where she is going, and she is learning from everyone, right? But where am I today? Am I in the best position today to really go after that as well as a business? Maybe you have reached that stage of expansion and now you're expanding portfolio. Tyranny of choice is not a problem for your consumer. Endless aisle is okay. Your profitability could be better managed because you've got a good network. But someone like Nitin, maybe for you, as you are trying to build your network, maybe, and you are not averse to going online as well, but you need to get your offline right because you want the consumers to experience. Contrasting with Vani, who full on online, right? I want to compete head on with a decathlon.
It's just a very tough place to be in.
Yeah, it's a tough place to be in. So I think the jury is out, but I think from a capability front, I would like to believe that we know at least theoretically what it takes to do it. Some of you are experiencing it. Krishna, tell me.
From a company that has been fairly offline forward, right?
Yes.
And has a large distribution network and fairly strong in the market. We took our time to evolve on the online space. Our larger concern was to avoid channel conflict more than anything else. But I think at least for companies that are online forward and then want to move to offline, I think though people may consider it as difficult, I do believe that what people tend to forget or is the ability, what they are able to do on online platforms they're not able to do on offline is demand generation. First and foremost, the ability to get the person to know that the product exists on shelf or that is a product that is relevant for them in any manner, that gets missed. And that's why that's the more difficult thing rather than saying whether my field force is working as per expectations. I think that is more important rather than saying is my field force working as per expectations. And that is what most companies miss out.
Yeah.
So if you look at Wows of the world or the Mamas of the world where they had huge inventory issues last quarter.
Yeah.
Right. And the second thing is when people move from online to offline, right? Like you said, there's a charm, there's this endless shelf available, there's a charm of 200 SKUs available online. People tend to forget that what is more important is to have 1 or 2 hero SKUs and that's what works for you. As long as you're able to get that and that offtakes or that moves out from shelf, the retailer will himself demand more and more retailers will demand more. I think people tend to forget that more often and how do you create demand for that 1 or 2 hero SKUs offline? If you're able to crack that and get distribution and scale because of that, then you get piggyback for your other SKUs. That's what really matters. And people or founders or online companies tend to forget that more importantly and hence online to offline tends to get difficult.
Yeah.
Because the DNA is very different from
DNA
online
is
to
different.
offline and people need to work in that direction.
Yeah. And it's expensive. It's expensive to move from online to offline because real estate costs, people costs. No, people online he said, but I'm just saying that even from that matter, right? If you need to do service, you can't just be present in few pin codes and because you're dissipating money in that case, right? So there is this thing.
I have a point here.
Yes.
The general perception that doing business online is easier and even the cost of operations is less. The fact is offline business is easy to do and the cost of operations, it is much lesser. Specifically because you need manpower which is very expensive in the online space.
Yeah, but Nitin, the biggest challenge is footfalls, right? Because
Yeah,
end of the
so
day,
we don't have an option. We have to be there wherever the consumer is.
Yeah.
For example, we have just gone on Zepto and we are getting a good response. But what I understand is that people are very clear what categories I want to buy online and what I want to buy offline. In our case, consumables like shuttlecocks and tennis balls, it is easy to buy online, where you don't have to see anything, right? But when it comes to buying a racket or a cricket bat, athletes want to come and check out the equipment, see the weight, the balance, and
Get some advice.
one of the biggest, challenges which I think in the online space is, in our industry, 40 to 60% goods are fake, and consumers have no idea what they are buying. For example, during the last World Cup, Adidas jerseys, we sold 8,000 jerseys, but I'm sure a chain like us, which we were operating about say 15 stores, we sold 8,000 original India jerseys.
Okay.
But in the online space, I'm sure 8 lakh fake jerseys were sold.
Yeah.
And these jerseys were available on Amazon at 370 rupees. The official jersey is minimum 999, 299, 499.
Yeah.
And people don't mind buying also.
Yeah.
मेरा बच्चा जिद कर रहा है. It doesn't matter with whether it is original or fake.
Yep.
Now it is taking away so much of legitimate business.
Yep.
And all fake good manufacturers are having a great run because of online. We don't even know what we are buying in the online space. That is one of the biggest
let me
threats
let
to
me
the brick and mortar business. I think.
Yeah, no, point taken. Let me do a bit of counter positioning now, because in the sense that there is no doubt that the way online is growing, right? Like for years and years, like I've been in this for 25 years, the modern trade, the physical modern trade used to budge by a few basis points a year, right? 7 becoming 8, 7.5, and then 8, and so on and so forth. Now we are all forecasting, we did the forecast some minutes back, that 30% of the business in India is going to become organized, right? We are talking about 12 million outlets in the country today, right? But if you really look at it, what is the spread of outlets between rural and urban? And if I pick up an FMCG example, it's completely an inverted pyramid. You have got 1/3 population approximately living in urban, generating 2/3 of turnover, and vice versa, right? So the question I have for you is that looking at India as a market, we cannot be trying to think about ourselves in our cocoon here as we call ourselves India Alpha and at the top 5% of the India's population. There's a 95% population. So the first question to all of you is that even an ambition that I should cater to the unserved part of the country from an organized brand perspective, or the focus is super focused on people who have the wallet power to consume my brands and my services and come to my channel and do the mobile phone click and so on and so forth. So have we decided mentally in our minds that that's it, that's the India for me? I'm looking at not 400 million people, but we are talking about 200 million people as India for us. Is that the way we look at India?
There is a submission here, Ravi. So while the gentleman here did mention that you have to be where your consumer lies.
Yeah.
Now, whether it is Amazon, Flipkart, Zepto, offline spaces, it depends where you are. What is your play field?
Yeah.
I think everybody makes a decision. 3 of us, are holding different brands, and not at all competing with each other, which is the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
We all have a different consumers that we are trying to tap. His perfumes are selling for 8,000 to 10,000 rupees. My products are about 800 to 10,000 rupees. I don't know about her price range. Now there is a consumer for each of us, and we have to just be there where they are. Now whether that means being in the lifestyle exhibitions, being where the trade shows are, being at the international trade shows, being here at a Rise event, it all depends where the consumer lies. You make that choice always. And if you want to increase your pie of the revenue, you keep chasing newer customers, whether that means at the different price points or means at different categories, wherever you want to reach. That's what I believe.
I'll add a bit to that since he mentioned price point. So my one bra that we sell is for 225. So that means my consumer is everywhere, right? It's in a tier 2 city as well. I also have
And
a
Enamor is what price point?
about, if you look at it online, they would be about 350 or 399.
Okay.
Smaller bras. So I'm
Almost
talking
2x.
about, so I'm talking about the basic bra. So my consumers is pretty much in the tier 2 city as well. How do I reach it? What strategy do I use? So when they were talking, everybody was talking about the omni play, offline, online. It's very important as a brand, what strategy is going to get me to my customer in the most cost efficient way. For somebody like me, a GT model, and we've tried it and failed miserably at it, will not work. We are taking on the incumbents. So I still have to be in that market. How do I get there? Do I get there
So
through...
Vani, if I can just stop you. So replicating, sorry, I'm again bringing an FMCG example. Replicating a Nirma in today's life is not possible.
Exactly.
It's not possible.
So you have to look at, if you're
Like
a newer
what Nirma
brand,
did to surf in whatever years ago, all of us have possibly, I saw it as a kid. It's not possible in today's world where you don't have to build up those kind of infra. You rely on the existing infra which exists in the country. Things are reaching everywhere, by the way. People are consuming branded content. People are consuming branded products. You think about the basic necessities of life.
exactly.
So it's not as if people are devoid of aspiration. People
Absolutely.
have the
so
same phone.
So India exists in every corner.
Yeah.
It is not that this market
But
is only
I
India.
have decided that I will not go there.
No, I want to go there. I need to find the right strategy to go there. It's not that I've decided not to go
For the
there.
right strategy. Fair point. Fair point. Nilesh, please.
Everybody wants to be everywhere, but the only big question is whether it is feasible or not. So your basic question was whether we have decided whether we want to cater to the metros and class A cities or go into the rural. We would love to go everywhere, but the problem is in the rural, although everything else is cheap, your real estate is cheap, but then the business is also not to that volume. And servicing the rural is going to be very expensive. So ultimately, bottom line is going to be, if you have to be an efficient business, then wherever you get profitable business, you would want to be there. And another problem in today's time is manpower.
Yeah.
Getting manpower is the biggest challenge. So expanding is the easiest thing, but managing the expansion is the most toughest part.
And what a huge irony that is. I heard you say about the cost. I heard Nilesh now talk about it. We are living in a world where less than 10% have got formal jobs in the country.
But everybody wants work-life balance.
60% people are still employed in agri, contributing 18% of GDP. And here we are talking, we don't get the people, cost is high, attrition is high. So it's the land of irony. That's the conclusion. So, Kunj, Kushal.
Kushal, I'll just take a quick... Ravi, I was just reflecting on everybody what they're talking about, and to me at least it sounds like, and you started, your opening question was, is omni-channel a success? Is that where we are going? And we heard different things. At least the way I consumed all that we have heard so far is there is omni-channel here for sure. There is omni-channel to stay. It depends is the answer, right? I love, as a tax guy, I love that answer. We answer that every time. No matter what question you ask, it depends. But the key part that I wanted to bring out is, I find there to be, everybody is driven by their own experiences of different channels in dealing with their own products. And if we just start hearing the different stories and picking on those experiences and say, hey, maybe that could also happen in this channel. Maybe this could also happen in this channel. The way, Vani, you described about push, and you were able to really push that by putting that product in the right place in online. And what Ravi was saying, maybe online was difficult for you, or what Vaibhav, you were saying that it was difficult for your products in the initial phase. So it's really these stories, if we are able to bring them together, learn from each other and experiences, perhaps that's where the asymmetry lies, which can be explored a lot more.
Yep, absolutely. And hopefully we do some job of making it happen, some job.
I didn't want to say it myself.
Kushal.
Yeah, no, a lot of interesting thoughts. I just wanted to sort of bring in a viewpoint in the sense that the way the fundamental premise at which we are looking at omni-channel being success or not is a lot of ideas coming through is whether offline folks are able to sell online more or not, or whether online folks are able to go into offline or not. I think so that premise is slightly flawed, largely because it's not about, again, looking at it in silo as A versus B. What you're trying to say is, and what is and how the customer has evolved because of mobiles, because of all of that has come in, and therefore their journeys have fundamentally changed. If you look at, and we can agree in the room that what is the super objective is essentially to help build great brands. Great brands traditionally were built out, and what are great brands? Great brands essentially proxies for trust, for quality, for, if I have to buy something, I know that that product is known by this brand, right? Not the other way around. So, and that is all what we are trying to do. Earlier, what used to be done was essentially great brands were built by great marketing and great accessibility, which was channel. And that is why all great brands, and like Godrej is there, P&G, HUL, they've been great brands because they've been there for a while. They have created the pull in the system where distributors, local distributors, GT asks for that brand because they know they will sell, because consumer relate products to those brands. What online has really done is essentially in many ways not just disrupted but decimated this entire concept of marketing at scale and distribution at scale. Distribution now can happen any corner of the country in 3 days, even 20 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, give or take. And at the same time, you can speak to whosoever you want. It's not just radios and televisions of the world, but Instas and Metas and Googles of the world. And therefore, leading to niches, and one of the brand being niche, niches being created where customers are asking for more. They are becoming more and more selective, choosy, etc. Now, it all depends upon where in the journey you are in terms of both the brand building as well as credibility building. And therefore, what I heard from challenger brands is essentially it is much more easier because online is a much more level playing field for challenger brands to be able to, yes, burn money, but create brand salience and recognition. You can actually compete with the big boys because you will be shown at the same level and you can talk about a product and functionality. But you cannot, but the cost of doing business, you have to create that into pull, and the pull has to be then created into fundamentally offline because that's where the customer is also there.
So I am told a statistics that we are a 1 trillion retail economy, $1.1 trillion, likely to become $1.8 trillion in 2030. 35% of that 1.1 trillion is only branded consumption. It's another matter that in India, most of the consumption is food, which is anyways unbranded. But the point I'm trying to make here is that how many brands exist which are $1 billion plus brands in the country today? $1 billion plus brands. We are not talking 1,000 crore, but 9,000 crore brands. Maybe few, maybe very few. The point I'm trying to make here is that you can start online, but if you have to become truly a brand, you can't escape off. You cannot, right? And that transition is where it's almost like a minefield of exploration, rights and wrongs, and luck and bad luck and good luck. I don't know what all else is needed. But moving on, Suraj, you wanted to say something, given that you are from a jewelry business which has gone through amazing amount of professionalization and I would say formalization. So any experiences that you want to talk about whatever we have done so far?
Yeah, so very interesting to hear everyone's thoughts. I actually took some good notes. In our experience, we actually started e-commerce, and then we were going on trying to find the reason or the metric how e-commerce can be a success. It was in the beginning stages, maybe about, just pre-COVID, we would have started aggressively looking at e-commerce. Now, 4 or 5 years down the line, what is the learning is that for our business, there is no e-commerce as such. It is, e-commerce side is coming to the center, and offline is also coming to the center. And this center is actually omnichannel. So, because in the offline also, there's a requirement for how to generate the footfall. And for that, digital presence is essential.
Correct.
Then in the online, the customer wants the touch and feel. So then we have to go offline. So ultimately, it's all merging into some sort of like a, new paradigm of omni-channel.
Yeah.
And what we've seen is when we track our e-commerce performance or whatever, 70 to 75% of the sale is omni-channel. That is, the customer is making an inquiry through our digital that's getting forwarded to our retail team. So we are trying to manage that journey as best possible.
Yeah.
We do of course have to create dedicated resources and all this in-house to handle this, and I think incentivizing the retail also to handle that omni-channel inquiry is important to make it a integrated experience from a customer's point of view.
Yeah.
So we are investing in that journey.
Sure.
So if I just have to add to that, Suraj, I mean, we all know what the Zudio effect is happening in the country, right? We cannot ignore that they are everywhere. They're taking a good chunk of money. They're profitable and probably going there, Ravi, to becoming a billion-dollar brand. And I think there is a need which they have tapped from a product standpoint as well, that some of us in the room will use it as a travel wear and wear it one time and just give it off. But there is a consuming class that is looking it as an aspiration. They will wear it, they'll brag about it. They are an offline first brand. They're just doing cataloging online probably at best. So saying that Omni is the way, probably there are examples, there are breakthrough examples like Zudio that's taking place right here, right now amongst us in the last 2 years. So some of you would want to respond to that because they have cracked the code. We're all trying to figure out what that is, but they are appealing to all kinds of consuming classes.
I think what Zudio's done incredibly well is I heard people here saying that, my parents wouldn't do it, I wouldn't do it, which is the biggest demographic in India right now. It's the Gen Z, it's this under 25 market, and Zudio's cracked them. Go to any Zudio store, any small town, anywhere. It's filled with kids. The pricing is like that. That's what they cracked, and which is why it's working so well. And that is going to happen in every space. You look at H&M and Zara, they have a Gen Z segment now. It wasn't there till even 3-4 years back. It's the right demographic tapping, it's the right pricing that they've managed, and stores in the right places. It will be next to a college. It will be close to an education center. It will be in a mall. If you go to Jaipur sometime, there's a mall there, which is in an area, there are two malls. One of the areas is relatively less well-to-do. That is where Zudio is. They've put it in the right pricing segment. So that is what they seem to have cracked, and that is why it is working so well. They are where their consumer is.
Yeah. No, that's
Even
a
if
great
it's not
point.
omni.
They understand what we call simply product market fit. They know the consumer, they got the right product, right pricing, assortment, quality, experience.
Yeah.
But the important piece is, as she mentioned, right, that they've cracked Gen Z, right? And the entire discussion on e-commerce has been a lot of fashion apparel brands been about we are targeting Gen Z and Gen Z is online. But here's Zudio who has actually cracked that segment beautifully offline. So again, the question is not online versus offline. It's not about the channel. It's about following the customer. If you come up with a value proposition that works offline, where you give low price product in a great environment, great, beautiful Apple looking stores in the right places, Gen Z will buy from there.
So I would just add a small point which I heard in the morning today. It's not my point of view. I heard Venkat, the CEO of Trent, talk about it in the morning, and he made a simple point. It's a choice for the brand. I think Nilesh, Krishna, all of us, you are talking about the choices I have made. So consumer is there for Zudio, consumer is there for online, consumer is there for Max, both online and offline. Reliance was there on the stage as well, and Reliance said, I'll be there everywhere. But Trent said, no, I can't be. Like they were talking about Star Bazaar's strategy, right, which is their fresh food and grocery chain. And Venkat said, I want to do the same thing I did in apparel. So let's see what happens, but that's a choice. Maybe I'll just, conscious of time, but I would like to just pick up some thoughts around what's happening to the consumption story in the country. Do you think that consumption story is the way it is playing out in the quarterly reports, in stock markets, or in your own P&Ls, is because that what I was trying to allude to my earlier question, that are we just focusing on a very small pie and huge amount of competition? You're next to Decathlon, Burger King is next to McDonald's, so on and so forth. What is the story there? What are we missing on the growth story for the country? We want to, because just a small data point, 60% of our GDP is going to be generated by people who consume our products and services. We are not China, we will never be China, right? So how do we build a story of growth and consumption in the country? If is it looking good for you guys? I think he wanted to say something.
See, I completely agree to what Suraj had said initially. The omni-channel thing, I mean, this is a new perspective that you have given, just cannot be online and offline and how you've portrayed it. Coming to the last question and the new questions combination, I would say positioning is very important. You have to position where you want to be. You have to decide that first and communicate with the client. You can't just be like, hey, I'm opening a brand, I want to be everywhere. No, it doesn't work that way. Am I the brand for this particular kind of a personality? And that personality may be everywhere. And my product, can I be friends with everybody in the room? No. Can I be making a good relationship with everybody? No. People may know me, fine, but people will be there for me. It's same for the brands. You have to be there and you have to connect with the consumer on every scale, on every level. And that's my thinking. That's how you grow and expand. And consumption is huge.
But Rishi, the thinking is that of a FOMO, that if Vani is able to get that consumer, why am I not able to get the same consumer, for example, right? You're not thinking about that there is a consumer like Bijal sitting in front of you, you're not even looking at her, for example. Sorry, I'm picking up on Bijal, but that's the question I'm asking.
But do I really want to sell to him? Do I really want that? That's something that I need to decide first.
Yeah.
I can't just be looking around and
in a way,
saying,
what we are saying is consuming class of India for this group here is the top 20% cohort. That's it. Which have got 12 lakh rupees and above of annual income, which are going to get some tax breaks.
but we're growing as an economy, right?
Yeah.
So eventually, right, in maybe next 5 years, we are going to be scaling up and seeing the kind of exports happening from the country and the kind of money that is coming in.
Yeah.
It's massive.
But are you doing anything to grow the economy?
Of course, we are giving back to the society. That's where we are all coming as entrepreneurs and building brands.
Okay.
It eventually has to go back.
Any thoughts from you?
Right. So, see, I feel consumerism is on the rise.
Okay.
Maybe because of the quick commerce wave. I'll just give you an example. During the New Year's Eve, I was just scrolling my LinkedIn and I saw Albinder is a co-founder of Blinkit, and I saw his post, and it said that by 8 p.m. they had delivered close to about 12 and a half lakhs packets of Haldiram bhujia. And then I thought, if Blinkit was not there or Zepto was not there, and if quick commerce did not exist, would this have been possible?
Yeah.
Because being a consumer, I know that I have to go to the nearest Kirana store, I'll pick up chips, I'll pick up bottles of Coke, Thumbs Up, and I'll just go back to my place and enjoy with the family or friends. But what we have seen, because even I'm a part of that quick commerce wave, and what we have seen that quick commerce is actually doing what modern trade had done 10 years back. Quick commerce is helping brands to create an identity in the market. When you said that why omni-channel is difficult, of course, being a brand from dairy industry, earlier 3 years back there was no digital ecosystem for food FMCG brands, because if you're going through that e-commerce route, your AOVs are pretty low, your gross margins are anyway low. So it won't make sense and it won't be profitable for you.
Correct.
So the only way was to go through GT or MT and try to create a brand there. But now, when the quick commerce is there, you see a lot of new brands coming in. Look at ice creams. There's Noto, there's Go Zero, there is
Angio.
there are multiple brands, and to give an example, if you go through the story of NIC, they started as an online first brand. They were there on all the platforms like Zomato, Swiggy, and now they are doing so well in the offline space. So I feel the brand has to recognize that what is the right time to get into that offline space. And I feel it is very industry agnostic, because you cannot really compare what Vijay Sales is doing with what FMCG is doing, because AOVs are very different, margins are very different, consumer is very different.
Purchase frequency is different.
Exactly.
Everything is different.
So quick commerce lies somewhere between e-commerce and your physical retail.
But when, yeah, sorry Mohit, go on.
Right. So I feel, I mean, rather than just, talking about this omni-channel perspective in a very generalized way, we can, think over it that what suits my industry and what suits my business.
Absolutely. So let me just, just go to the least common denominator. Yeah, Bijal, I will definitely.
Yeah. So I think, hearing all the arguments, there are 2, 3 points I want to make, right? I think online guys are trying to go offline, but they are finding their journey difficult. The offline guys wants to be in the online space, but they don't know how to do it, and the cost parameters and so on and so forth. So everybody is looking this only from a channel point of view. But why the industry where multiple D2C brands, which are probably online and doing successfully, actually come together and navigate the offline journey with somebody who's already established, who knows how to really do offline. So why aren't there are enough amalgamations and joint work is happening? And to extend to that argument, this is exactly in the line in which government actually launched the ONDC initiative. So moving on to the ONDC initiative, I mean, what's your view? How effectively it's actually working for you in terms of transitioning from offline to online? And even for online player, is it helping you in terms of expanding your reach? Or what more you think that the intervention maybe ONDC should do it to make it better?
Yeah. No, perfect. In fact, that was my question as well, that is there something which the government can do, which all of you agree that they should do something, or ONDC is just an example of facilitating an ecosystem in the country to help offline, online, and so on and so forth? Anything at all on that front?
As far as I understand, ONDC has not been able to get the kind of response.
Yeah.
And again, the other point that she made is, and what I believe is that we need to collaborate with companies who have the DNA of an e-commerce business, right? That is the way. If I try to do it, I know it is not my cup of tea. I don't have the DNA of an e-commerce businessman, right? So we need to collaborate with players and get maybe an equity partner, or in some way get into a joint venture and create an omni-channel company which will then become a profitable company. Otherwise,
So Amazon and Flipkart is not an answer to that question?
No. Amazon, I have a very, very different view. I would not want to talk about it right now. But I think to be very, very blunt, they are here to ruin all small businesses. And I am dead against all these things. But coming back to the subject is, collaboration is the way, and we all need to grow together.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Krishna.
Just talking on the point on consumption, right? I think we are in a very difficult inflationary cycle.
Yeah.
And there's only so much cost you can pass on to the consumer. But whatever price hikes you've passed on, consumers do tend to titrate a bit, right? Or delay their consumption. But I do believe that this is transitory. I don't think people are not going to stop having a bath, or if they need an AC, sooner or later they're going to buy an AC.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's just a transitory phase. I think consumption story for India is fairly real.
Okay.
And over a period of time, it's going to come back.
Yeah. That's a good note to conclude. Any closing comments from anyone else?
Yeah, I can.
On a positive note?
I'll
Yes.
add in on the.
Yeah. Sorry, please. Yeah.
No, just on a perspective on growth story, and how to view this opportunity that's in front of us.
Yeah.
I think the growth is available for the companies that are innovative, adaptable, and agile. From our point of view, being an 85-year-old brand, we had to completely adapt our portfolio in terms of the bridal range, for example, because today the brides get angry with the parents when the parents say that we are going to buy 50 lakhs to 1 crore of jewelry for you. The bride says that don't waste money.
Yeah.
So how to adapt to that problem statement?
On rent, jewelry on rent.
No, so we made innovation in the product
Oh.
to excite the bride more.
Okay.
because the bride is the decision maker today.
Yeah.
And that is a segment, that is growth is there for who's willing to adapt and innovate and kill what they're doing and go to something else. So I think that's our takeaway and learning from the current situation, how it's evolving.
On a lighter note, you can sell to the mother and the mother-in-law.
So can I just?
Yeah, Raghav, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I think, hearing all this, I think what's very interesting is that how long are some of these channels, right, going to sell at price points which are just not going to make them ever profitable? And that is not that is something that no one's really speaking here today, because it's all about the reach. It's all about the revenue, but nobody's talking about profitability. And for me, that's like the biggest thing, because all of you who are here, who are 100 years, 80 years businesses, you're here because you have been able to reinvest profits and make revenues which are profitable revenues. And I think that's going to be a very, very important thing, especially in the context of the economy right now, which is we are entering, and as rightly said, because we can't pass on inflation beyond a point, the margins are shrinking dramatically. And so that's going to eat into profitability. And so therefore, how much of it is going to get reinvested still remains a question to drive the innovation that you are talking about. And I think that's something that we really need to think about as to where is that, because you've taken away efficiency to its limit, right? You've squeezed the lemon. You're squeezing the lemon on productivity. So what is the third, lemon that's going to be squeezed in order to really get the profits that, brands require to continue to be there for the next 100 years? I think that's something which is very important. And
those
we
fundamentals
really
will never change.
Those fundamentals will never change. And I believe that, therefore those collaborations that you spoke about is very important, but who do you collaborate is also is very important.
You need to get the right partner.
Exactly.
In fact, I am owning a legacy business which is 90 years old, and I don't know how many more years this is going to continue. And I think there are a few entrepreneurs here who own these family businesses. These are going to become extinct in the next 20 years. And that is what is the sad part of the entire story. Right? It's all about consumerism, valuation, capitalism, private equity, listing, just chasing things, right, left, right, center. God knows, we are getting into a bigger hole of this technology, and we would not even know how to get out of it. And that is the biggest, concern which I have, as a human being.
Yeah, I'm sure the future is definitely much more positive than that. I'm sure technology is there to support.
With AI, things are becoming...
Yeah, absolutely, an agent force and everything. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you for your generous times and thoughts. And we do hope that you find some value in the report that we are publishing and published. And thanks to Weber for the goodies that he has given to all of us. And
thank you, sir. I hope that the proof of pudding lies in using these products, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good day ahead and tomorrow as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.